Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you to the 8th International Research Conference on Smart Computing and Systems Engineering 2025, proudly organized by the Department of Industrial Management, Faculty of Science, University of Kelaniya. Today, we gather at the crossroads of innovation and intelligence, where groundbreaking research and transformative ideas shape the future of smart computing and systems engineering. This conference is not just an event, it is a platform for collaboration, inspiration, and progress. I am Rahida.
And I am Akila, and together we have the privilege of guiding you through this remarkable event. Throughout the day, we will explore pioneering research, engage in thought-provoking discussions, and witness the power of collaboration in shaping the future of smart computing and systems engineering. Let's embark on this exciting journey of innovation and discovery.
Organized by the Department of Industrial Management of the University of Kelaniya. This acclaimed research conference, recognized with over 1,500 citations on Google Scholar and more than 850 citations on Scopus, serves as a premier platform for exploring the complex and evolving domains of smart computing and systems engineering. Researchers, scholars, academics, and innovators from around the world are encouraged to submit their research papers. The selected papers will be indexed in Scopus and submitted for the inclusion in IEEE Explore. Unfolding its 8th iteration, the SCSC conference has broadened its research across several key disciplines: artificial intelligence, smart systems engineering, information technology and education, industrial engineering and management, software engineering, smart logistics and supply chain solutions. While pertaining to the academic tracks, the research papers have extended their focus to encompass This year, the SCSC conference witnessed a remarkable surge in research paper submissions, reaching a total of 453 papers, reflecting significant growth from previous years. 16 countries and 65 institutions worldwide, with 148 international papers, making up 33% of the total submissions. The majority of submissions centered on artificial intelligence and smart systems engineering. Following a thorough review process, 125 research papers were selected for publication. Among them, research on smart logistics and supply chain solutions had the highest acceptance rate of 58.82%, followed by the industrial engineering and management at a rate of 38.46%. SCSC 2025 also witnessed a rise in multi-institutional collaborations, with 30 papers reflecting joint research efforts, while industry-affiliated research contributed 4 papers showcasing real-world innovations. The conference's global influence was further highlighted by 16 papers authored by international first authors, contributing to a total of 28 international contributions. Additionally, over 33 accepted papers had female first authors, highlighting the increasing role of women in advancing research in smart computing and systems engineering. According to IEEE standards, the acceptance rate for any research conference is typically equal to or less than 40, whereas out of 453 submitted papers, the acceptance rate is 25%, which is beyond impressive for a research conference. Furthermore, all accepted research papers align with one or more of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, reinforcing the commitment to sustainability, innovation, and impactful research. With its global participation, cutting-edge research, and emphasis on sustainability, the SCSC Conference 2025 continues to be a pioneering platform for knowledge exchange and technological advancement. Together, we are shaping the future of intelligent systems and engineering solutions.
These dynamic fields are at the cutting edge of technological advancements, revolutionizing the way we live, work, and connect with the world. From artificial intelligence and machine learning to innovation, resilience, and supply chain management, this conference provides a platform to explore the vast possibilities and transformative potential they hold.
Also, we would like to express our appreciation to our technical sponsors, IEEE, IEEE Sri Lanka Section, IEEE Computer Society, IEEE Industrial Electronics, IEEE Industry Application Society, and Vellore Institute of Technology. Also to our platinum sponsors, Huawei Technologies Lanka Company Private Limited and Core Terriers. Their generous contributions have made this conference a reality and enabled us to create an enriching experience for all of you. To commence the proceedings of this significant occasion, we would like to invite the following dignitaries to light the ceremonial oil lamp. The Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, Keynote Speaker, Professor Koliya Pulasinghe, Dean, Faculty of Science, Senior Professor Sudat Kalinga Mudali, the Head of the Department of Industrial Management, Professor Janaka Vijay Nayaka,
Chairman, Research Council, Professor Sajith Methananda, Librarian, University of Kelaniya, Dr. Chaminda Jayasundara, Conference Chair, Mr. Dinesh Asankar, Professor S. Angaleshwari from Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai, India. Representing IEEE, Professor Anuradha Jayakodi. A representative from Huawei Technologies, Lanka Company Private Limited. A representative from Core Terriers. And we kindly request one of the authors present here to join us to light the oil lamp. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives us immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to 5 dignitaries who are present here with us today. Let us invite Ms. Jinendri Prasathika, the Conference Assistant Secretary, to usher the following dignitaries to the stage.
The Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, Keynote Speaker, Professor Koliya Pulasinghe, Dean, Faculty of Science, Senior Professor Sudat Kalinga Mudali, Chairman, Research Council, Professor Sachit Mettananda, Conference Chair, Mr. Dinesh Asanka.
In honor of our alma mater, the University of Kelaniya, please rise for the University Anthem.
Desakitu basa kurumaya suratina siat suwenda vidu kirana bedadena sada sandaki vidulakara udagina Kelaniya sarasavi mata Kelaniya sarasavi mata Isuru sanalana Jai jiva ulbadavanno sindana Kelaniya sarasavi mata Kelaniya sarasavi mata Siya desakitu bosa urumaya suratina Siya suwenda vidu kirana bedadena Sandaki vidulakara udagina Kelaniya sarasavi mata Kelaniya sarasavi mata Sunisita suviya divituru nenaguna Yugayan yugayata jayata tilinatara Karupirivara saha mululova sarasana Kelaniya sarasavi mata Vidu ambare bedaleva Siya desakitu bosa urumaya suratina Siya suwenda vidu
Thank you, and you may be seated. Now, to formally welcome the gathered audience, I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Dinesh Asankar, the chair of today's conference.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, colleagues, students, researchers who are joining with us today on the 8th Computing and Systems Engineering Research Conference, physically and online. Special welcome to our distinguished guest, Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, Vice Chancellor, University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka, Senior Professor Sudat Kalingamudali, Dean of Faculty of Science, University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka, Professor Sachit Mettananda, Chairman of the Research Council, University of Kelaniya, our keynote speaker, Professor Koliya Pulasinghe, Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, SLIT, Sri Lanka, Deans of Faculties, Librarian, University of Kelaniya, Head of Departments from Faculty of Science, Mr. Dhammika Marasinghe from IEEE, representatives from Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai, India. Today we celebrate the 8th anniversary of the International Research Conference on Smart Computing and Systems Engineering, organized by the Department of Industrial Management, Faculty of Science, University of Kelaniya. Over the years, SSSE has established itself as a premier platform for researchers and practitioners to exchange knowledge and advancement in the fields of smart computing and systems engineering. SCSE's impact is evident in its scholar metrics, with Google Scholar Index of H-index of 16, accumulating over 1,500 citations, and a Scopus Index, H-index of 13. These figures underscore the conference's significant contribution to the academic research and its role in promoting innovation and collaborating with the global scientific community. This year, SCSE 2025 has achieved remarkable milestones. The conference received 453 research paper submissions from 16 different countries and 15 institutions, reflecting its growing international appeal. Following the rigorous double-blind review process, 111 papers were accepted, resulting in an acceptance rate of 25%, aligning with its IEEE's standards for quality and selectivity. The diversity of contribution is noteworthy, with accepted papers from countries including Sri Lanka, India, Australia, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and the United States. This international representation enriches the conference, encouraging cross-cultural collaborations and the exchange of diverse perspectives. SCSE conference proudly announced that the accepted research papers contain all 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This year, SCSE conference is proud to introduce an inaugural undergraduate research symposium, a dedicated platform designed to showcase the innovative research endeavors of undergraduate students. This initiative reflects SCSE's commitment to nurturing emerging talent and encouraging culture of scholarly inquiry among the next generation of researchers. We warmly invite you to attend this symposium to support and engage with these budding scholars as they contribute fresh perspectives. Continuing from last year, SCSE hosted an academic forum dedicated to exploring the challenges and opportunities that generative AI presents to academia. This forum provided a platform for scholars and practitioners to discuss the ethical implications, integration strategies, and the evolving role of educators and researchers in the era of generative AI. As we commemorate this milestone, we acknowledge the dedication of the organization committee, reviewers especially, authors, and the participants who have contributed to SCSC's success. Their collective efforts have propelled the conference to its new heights, ensuring its continued relevance and excellence in the ever-evolving landscape of smart computing and systems engineering. Thank you very much and welcome to SCSC 2025.
We sincerely thank Mr. Dinesh for delivering such a warm and inspiring welcome address.
Now, I would like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Science, University of Kelaniya, Senior Professor Sudat Kalinga Mudali, to deliver his remarks to those who are present here.
Thank you very much. Very good morning and greetings to all of you. Vice Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya, Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Gunathilaka, and Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, Dr. Senrath, Chairman of the Research Council, Professor Sachit Methananda, keynote speakers, Professor Monica Gentili, Associate Professor of Industrial Engineering, University of Louisville, Professor Kolia Pulasinga, Department of Information Technology, SLIT, Heads of Departments, and Head of the Department of Industrial Management, Professor Janaka Vijayanayaka, Conference Chairperson, Mr. Dinesh Asanka, Conference Secretary, Ms. Chalani Orthotarachi, members of the academic and non-academic staff, dear research scholars and authors. As an alumna of this University of Kelaniya, one of the finest national universities in Sri Lanka, I express my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee for inviting me to the inaugural ceremony of the Smart Computing and Systems Engineering 2025 conference. As mentioned both in the video presentation and also by the conference chair, the technical sponsors of this conference are IEEE and IEEE Sri Lanka chapter, with Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai as a collaborator. It is also noteworthy that the conference proceedings are published in IEEE Explorer Digital Library, which is indexed in Scopus. This year marks the 8th consecutive year of this conference, which is themed Sustainability Through Convergence. The conference consists of 6 tracks. The primary goal of this conference is to provide a platform for both local and international scientists to present their research findings to a broad audience, both nationally and internationally. Again, as mentioned, it is very highly competitive, and paper acceptance rate was less than 25%. Also, the University of Kelaniya has again achieved a notable milestone in the 2025 Times Higher Education World Rankings, which are widely known as the most prestigious and influential global university rankings. These rankings placed University of Kelaniya 3rd in Sri Lanka. The Faculty of Science played a pivotal role in this achievement, contributing more than 300 Scopus Index publications over the past 5 years, including numerous publications from the Department of Industrial Management, out of more than 1,000 Scopus Index publications from the entire university. Currently, the Faculty of Science consists of 8 academic departments and 2 academic units with more than 3,000 undergraduates and 800 graduates enrolled in various majors, making the Faculty of Science, University of Kelaniya as one of the most esteemed science faculties. Faculty offers 6 BSc 3-year duration degree programs and 20 BSc Honours 4-year duration degree programs, and also 12 postgraduate taught programs. 2 of them are from the Department of Industrial Management. And also there are more than 15 active research groups in my faculty. We have secured over 25 patents for innovations, including 3 patents invented in 2024 alone by undergraduates and our faculty researchers. Additionally, there are 3 PCT publications and 4 Sri Lankan industrial designs, with 8 patents already commercialized to Sri Lankan industry. The Department of Industrial Management was established alongside the faculty in October 1967 with the objective of teaching management to science undergraduates. Since then, the department has experienced its academic program, and through regular program reviews and continued improvement of laboratory facilities, which are witnessing today. Initially, the department offered 3-year the industrial management as one of the subjects for the 3-year bachelor's program. And in 1985, they introduced the 4-year honors degree program in industrial management. And many graduates pursued their higher studies and secured senior positions in higher learning and research institute, both locally and internationally, and many of them are back at Kelaniya. The department has been leader in innovation. In 2004, they introduced the BSc Honours in Management and Information degree program, which is the first degree program offered by a single department in the Faculty of Science. The annual intake for the MIT program has now increased up to 120, and their employment rate exceeds 95%. Also, in 2020, the department has awarded ISO 9001:2015 Quality Management System Certificate, and in the science faculty, they are the only people having the ISO certification. In conclusion, I sincerely thank the organizing committee for their efforts in successfully bringing this event to fruition. I extend my best wishes to all presenters and participants for highly productive and fruitful morning ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable sharing on this momentous occasion.
It is now my pleasure to invite our esteemed guest, Professor Sajith Methananda, the Chairman of the Research Council, to address the gathering.
Good morning, Vice Chancellor Madam, the keynote speaker, Dean of the Faculty of Science, esteemed guests, or fellow researchers, and who are be proud to present their papers throughout the day. It's a great honor to be here, and this is the second time I'm standing in front of you in this podium, for the Smart Computing and Systems Engineering Conference, which is one of the key conferences of University of Kelaniya, because this was the first index conference of our university. Several other departments and faculties are following that path, and we now have another conference index in Scopus. So, but the Industrial Management Department and Faculty of Science made a great example of getting the conferences to very high standards. Every year it's improving. We see the improvement in numbers as well as in the quantity as well as the quality of the papers that are being accepted for presentation. And it's been reflected in our university research output very well, where we had about 380 publications in index journals and index conference, sort of including all conference papers in the year 2024. And I think it's nearly 10% or probably more than 5% were the conference papers presented in the last year Smart Computing and Systems Engineering Conference. And it contributes immensely to the university. And that is also reflected in the sort of university rankings, where most of the industrial management department members are high performing, high output researchers in the university. So thank you very much for the Department of Industrial Management and the Faculty of Science, as well as the organizing committee, for taking trouble and maintaining the standards and reaching high standards and reaching heights in terms of organizing this international conference. The other thing I want to tell you, the Research Council of the University of Kelaniya has been pioneering or supporting all the researchers in the university to go an extra mile or to achieve the standards by different multiple ways. Even in the difficult times with COVID and in economic recessions, the Research Council have been able to provide monetary funds, sort of a support, as well as technical support to all researchers of the University of Kelaniya. Now we are in 2025, the financial status of the country as well as the university is sort of more or less stable, as well as the Research Council. So we have ample opportunities for researchers, if they are really willing or really want to take up. We have introduced new grant schemes, several rewarding schemes. If you go through the Research Council website, so there's ample opportunity for you to grasp if someone is committed. One key thing that we want to highlight is, in terms of the university ranking, we are more we would like the research quality to improve as well. What does that mean? That means our research output, a reasonable proportion of our research output needs to be in high impact journals and not just conference papers, full papers, original articles in high impact journals. To be specific, we have to publish probably in the top 10% tier journals if it comes to Scopus. So that is one important message I need to convey. Whatever the important or quality research that you do in the department and this faculty, try to reach a journal which is in the highest impact. It's quite doable. If we look back the research output of the university, so more than 10% of our research papers have been in the top 10% journals. So we are doing. Everyone can do. It's not that difficult, but only the commitment. Whenever you want to submit a paper, a full paper to a journal, please consider submitting it to a top ranking, high impact journal, which is in the top 10% of the Scopus ranking. It's very easy to look for that. It's very easy to find that. You don't need any subscription. You just go to Scopus and look for that. In the Research Council, we have provided technical support to find that. So there's a video tutorial always to see where your journal stands and to find the journal to publish. Find the journal to publish your full paper. And if you have any problem, just email us So we are there to support technical support. We will reply within 24 hours, maximally 48 hours. It's not only the technical support, we will support financially as well. We know now the research publication is more or less become a bit of a, so it's an economic burden to the university. Most high impact journals will have some form of article processing charge or whatever the charges, publication fees. We are there to help. So don't worry. Don't worry. We will be able to maximally support, and in most journals, whatever the funding ceiling we have is sufficient. As a third world country, you can get sort of discounts and publications, but with that, the full amount, most of the time, we have been able to support the full amount. So that support is there. So that's the message that I want to convey. So we have achieved very high standards by bringing this conference and all the conference papers to be indexed in Scopus, which will be counted when it comes to university rankings. But so yeah, now as the Dean of your faculty told, we are more or less in the third position with some other faculty universities of Sri Lanka. We'll go a bit more to go that extra mile or to achieve that greater heights. The most important thing is to improve the quality. So conference papers are excellent, but whenever you have a good quality research, we need that to be published as an original article in a high impact journal, and we will provide all the support in terms of the finding a journal, technical support, as well as any fees incurred by you to publish. If you are a permanent staff member of the university, the Research Council is there to support. So with those words, again congratulating the faculty and the department for achieving these heights in terms of this conference, and I would sort of finish my talk, and for all presenters from University of Kelaniya as well as from other universities, I wish all the very best and a fruitful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those encouraging words.
It is with great pleasure that the Department of Industrial Management welcomes you to this prestigious International Research Conference, which we have the honor of hosting for the 8th consecutive time. We owe deepest gratitude to the entire university community, led by the esteemed Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, whose unwavering support and invaluable contributions have made this event possible. Let me now have the honor of inviting Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, Vice Chancellor, University of Kelaniya, to address this august occasion.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dean of the Faculty of Science and the other deans who are present here this morning, our keynote speakers, the chairman of the Research Council, the members of staff of the Department of Industrial Management, as well as the other academics from the faculty who are present here this morning, the conference participants and students. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I remember the first SCSC conference that I addressed as a Vice Chancellor was held online during the COVID pandemic. And we had a small group of people in a small room doing everything virtually online, and the students were running here and there making sure that our connectivity was all right. So given that we are now out of the pandemic, given that we are out of the economic recession and that things are stabilizing, it is good to hear that the conference has progressed from strength to strength, and that you had such a large number of applications from so many different countries, institutions, people, and that you have been able to achieve high standards in selecting the papers that are being presented at the conference today. I'd like to emphasize 2 points. One is to underscore what Sachit just talked about, the need to follow up conference presentations with publications in high-ranked journals. And I'd like to share something that I was looking at, a graph that I was looking at the other day, which was analysis that is provided to us by Learn, the Learn network, on their subscription to Scopus. And they looked at university by university, what were the number of Scopus index publications in I think it was for a 5-year period or 1 year, 5-year period, 5-year period, and also compare that at the same time with the field weighted citation index, which is an indication of the impact that the publications from that institution actually have on other people's work, weighted by the field in which you are working and publishing. And I noticed that while one university had a very high number of index publications, it had a relative, so what was ranked as number 1 in terms of Scopus indexed output, publications, indexed documents, that same university was way down in the field-weighted citation impact ranking, whereas there was a couple of other universities that had a small number of in terms of the number of publications that had been indexed on Scopus, the number of publications was much lower, so the ranking was maybe at 9 or 10, but the field-weighted citation impact was much, much higher. I presume that in the latter case, that was probably because of international collaborations, strong international collaborations with strong research partners. But on the other hand, the first instance that I talked about, just because you have a lot of institution has a lot of Scopus index publication, and I think that it's because they are largely conference presentations. So I would urge and encourage academics, especially from the University of Kelaniya, forgive my partiality and my bias towards the university, to follow up the conference presentation with publication of papers in high-ranked journals. And as Sachit just outlined, there are many mechanisms, support mechanisms in place within our university to help academics who want to go that extra mile. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is more a note of appreciation, really. The fact that the conference presentations cover all 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals was something that really pleased me to see, because as a university, we have accepted a policy that we work towards sustainable development, and that whatever we do, we try to make sure that we are aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the fact that smart computing and systems engineering, I looked at the proceedings book, the abstract book, and a lot of it just goes way beyond my head. But I'm glad to see that we are contributing, that the tools that are developed through using smart computing and systems engineering are addressing issues that are relevant to all aspects of the SDGs. And I congratulate the conference organizers on ensuring that there is that inclusivity and comprehensive holistic nature in the papers that have been selected for submission. I also appreciate the fact that you had done some gender disaggregation to look at whether female representation, participation is rising, because it's, I think a well-known fact that this is an area in which we need to increase and encourage the participation of women, both in terms of undergraduate students, postgraduate students. This is something that is a problem in STEM, that we start with undergraduate students with a reasonably okay balance between genders, but as time goes by, postgraduate students and then academics, there is a dropping off of females, and so that's something that needs to be taken into consideration and addressed. So thank you to the conference organizers. I greatly appreciate the organization and the effort that has gone into making sure that this conference remains as one of the key sought after conferences in the country, and that you have ensured, as Sachit said, the IEEE recognition and thereby the Scopus indexing part as well. So thank you very much to Dinesh and your organizing committee, as well as the head of the Department of Industrial Management and the other academic staff for doing this. And my best wishes to all of the conference participants for a fruitful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your encouraging words, madam.
The Department of Industrial Management was founded with the vision of delivering quality education, fostering research, and providing training in the field of industrial management, with the objective of shaping science students into competent professionals in both management and information technology. In line with this mission, the department launched the International Research Conference on Smart Computing and Systems Engineering in 2018. This conference stands as a progressive initiative offering a valuable platform for scholars and researchers to showcase their work and share insights in their respective fields of interest. Now, let us take a moment to watch an introductory video that highlights the journey of our esteemed department and the evolution of this prestigious conference.
The world is evolving faster than ever. Technologies drive change, management adapts, and those who understand both, they lead the transformation. At the Department of Industrial Management of the University of Kelaniya, we prepare students to thrive at the intersection of management and IT. As part of the Faculty of Science, our department is powered by a passionate team of qualified academic and professional staff, modern computer laboratories, and a learning environment designed to foster innovation, collaboration, and critical thinking. Each year, we welcome over 100 new students into our programs and send 100 plus skilled graduates into the industry, equipped to lead, adapt, and drive meaningful change. We offer 2 specialized undergraduate degree programs, which are BSc Honours in Management and Information Technology and BSc Honours in Information Technology. Students begin with a common first year, mastering the fundamentals of both fields. From the second year, they specialize based on their interests and their performance. A mandatory industry internship in the third year provides real-world experience that sets the bedrock of their professional journeys. Beyond undergraduate studies, the Department of Industrial Management also offers prestigious postgraduate programs, which are Master of Science in Management and Information Technology, Masters of Information Technology, and Masters of Data Analytics. We don't just produce graduates, we shape trailblazers. Armed with the right skills, insights, and mindset, our graduates don't just enter the workforce, They simply transform it. The Department of Industrial Management, where learning transcends education and growth becomes a part of your everyday journey. Research is the cornerstone of progress. It shapes the future through knowledge, innovation, and application. At the Department of Industrial Management, we actively contribute to this global movement, advancing research across industries and academia. With over 250 Scopus indexed publications and more than 750 Scopus indexed citations within the past years, our department has succeeded in publishing over 100 research articles alone in 2024, advancing research across a range of disciplines. Our contributions have earned us Senate Honours and the Best Young Researcher Award at the Faculty of Science, further establishing our commitment to academic excellence within the last year. Our research is not limited to academia, but extends into impactful industry collaborations with IMSSA Shipping Private Limited, EdgeConnect, previously known as Hydromoney, and CrowdSnap, tackling real-world challenges. Furthermore, joint research initiatives with the University of Melbourne on plastic classification and the University of Peradeniya on dental studies have broadened our global research footprint. Our research spans a variety of innovative domains, creating practical solutions for today's evolving challenges. Artificial intelligence and software engineering, advancing AI, machine learning, deep learning, software testing, IoT, and component-based systems to enhance intelligent, efficient solutions. Cybersecurity and information systems, strengthening cybersecurity, risk analysis, and enterprise systems to protect digital infrastructures. Business intelligence and data analytics, utilizing big data, multi-agent systems, and knowledge management for informed, data-driven decisions. Sustainable technologies and logistics, research on renewable energy, emission control, transport systems, and supply chain optimization for a sustainable future. Business process management and human-centered technologies, improving ERP, entrepreneurship, human-computer interactions, and social networking to enhance business operations and user experiences. Technology foresights and policy analysis, leveraging foresight analysis, competition strategies, and game theory to guide future industries. Our expert academic staff mentor students through every phase of their research journey, fostering a strong research culture and producing high-impact contributions. Through collaborations, innovation, and dedication to excellence, the Department of Industrial Management continues to lead the way in shaping the future of research and development.
Thank you for your undivided attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker for this esteemed inauguration ceremony, Professor Kelaniya Pulasinghe, a distinguished academic and researcher in the field of information technology. He currently serves as a senior professor in the Department of Information Technology at the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, Malabe. With a career at SLIT spanning over 2 decades, Professor Pulasinghe has held numerous key leadership roles, including Head of the Department of IT, Dean of Academic Affairs, and Dean of Postgraduate Studies and Research. His contributions extend beyond academia, having served as the first chairman of the Curriculum and Academic Quality Committee and leading the Internal Quality Assurance Unit. He was also a member of the Board of Directors at SLIT from 2007 to 2017. A dedicated scholar and researcher, Professor Pulasinghe's expertise spans over machine learning, health informatics, and computer linguistics. His current research focuses on speech and language understanding in children with autism spectrum disorders, a field with profound real-world impact. Recognized for his exceptional contributions to academia and research, he has received numerous accolades, including the Mombushu Scholarship for his PhD studies, as well as the Research Excellence Award and Overall Best Performer Award at the Slit Staff Awards 2017. We are truly privileged to have Professor Kelaniya Pulasinga with us today and look forward to gaining insight from his expertise.
Today, Senior Professor Kelaniya Pulasinga will share his invaluable insights on the engrossing subject, University Education in the AI era, offering valuable perspectives on the technological landscape of tomorrow. Please join me in welcoming Senior Professor Kelaniya Pulasinga.
Thank you for that nice introduction. Senior Professor Nilanthi Da Silva, Vice Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya. Can you hear me? All right. And Senior Professor Nilanthi Da Silva, Vice Chancellor, University of Kelaniya, and Senior Professor Kalinga Mudali, Dean of the Faculty, and professors, lecturers, the researchers from the area of computing, as well as students. Today my topic is University Education in AI era. I think actually this is valuable for both academics in the audience as well as for the students. Right. I am happy and actually thank you and very privileged to be here because actually I involved in this conference from the beginning, from the inception, right, as a member of organizing committee. So I am very happy now it reached 8th year and gaining a lot of momentum in the academia. Right. To set the tone of for this presentation, I would like to share these remarks made by Bill Gates few days ago, 5 days ago. The Bill Gates says AI will replace doctors, teachers within 10 years and claims humans won't be needed for most things. Right? Then we have questions in mind. So we have several disciplines in universities making graduates for the industry and what will happen to us. Right? And how fast does it happen? Right? I will share some thoughts. Actually, you can see different technologies, right? The time taken by different technologies to reach the half of the US population, technology penetration, right? If you look at the computer, it took more than 20 years, and internet, little bit lower, and radio, then the satellite TV, smartphones, and smart speakers, maybe 2.5 years, and ChatGPT, 1 year or 1.5 years. Right? The other thing is actually I have taken all these images from the social media and the Facebook, so I can't give due credits to the owners of these images because I don't know really who created these images, but I have taken this from very credible sources. So this tells us, right, a story about how this AI penetrate all sorts of all aspects, social stratas in the society, without exception in education. Now actually today's my agenda is focusing on what will happen to the university education. Since this is 30 minutes in the agenda and now they want me to extend if I want, but I have prepared this for 30 minutes. I have taken 3 areas in the education sector, the university education and what happens in those 3 areas. The first thing is teaching learning environment in universities and teaching learning activities. That means TLA, teaching learning activities happen inside the classroom, right? How we can actually consider those things in the future. And then students and academics, the recipients of this knowledge, right? So impact on these 3 areas, right? Or what are the things that we should consider for these 3 areas, right? And little bit about Gen AI. Since actually Gen AI is everywhere, so you can read it and get some understanding. I will just show the beauty of Gen AI in one slide, and then challenges in university education and how to overcome those challenges. Actually, I have all these things are my own thinking gathered in my teaching career at SLIIT for 22 years, right? SLIIT celebrates 25th anniversary today at Malawi. So in first 3 years, I was away in my PhD. So I joined SLIT after completing my PhD. That's why I missed first 3 years. Okay, to start with teaching learning environment. So I have seen this on your web classroom setup and even in the presentation or the video shown. So this is the normal classroom setup, right? The current day classroom setup in the university, right? If we look at this setup, so I have taken this from the internet, right? In the 14th century classroom, right? So have the same kind of setup. Lecturer here and students in each row. And some interesting points, the students in front rows giving full attention. Why they are giving full attention? They know the value of this topic and their passion. So many things. Their intrinsic motivation and they are mentally engaging with the content delivered by the lecture. So their attention is high. So if you look closely, you can observe all these things. And you can see in the last rows, right? If you notice in this corner, right, the 2 students engage in a discussion. They don't know what is going on in the classroom. And other students also in this different world, right? And you can observe a person is sleeping, right? So this is 14th century classroom, right? Even when you do this kind of lecture even today, right? You can watch. And then we come into the 19th century. This is the very famous Michael Faraday delivering his Christmas lecture in 1856, right? Taken from the Wikipedia, internet, in the classroom. So you can observe the same. Engaging audience and 2 people, 2 students, or 2 members of the audience engage in a discussion. They don't know what is going on with Michael Faraday. And no attention at all, right? So is there any difference between this classroom and today's classroom? So then actually we know, traditionally we follow the same thing again and again. And does it, I don't think, in my personal belief, it doesn't serve for the future ahead of us. This kind of delivery, right? So students all students valuing, this, I am lucky to have some students here also, right? Valuing the content delivered in the classroom is what lecturers expect, right? Lecturers expect what they appreciate, they put it into the slides, and they want students to appreciate at the same way that you appreciate the content in your slides, right? And then there should be some kind of intrinsic motivation, because we all are adult learners, right? So they said in text, in adult learners, one feature is intrinsic motivation is very high. They drive by their own, right? But adults, students in the classroom, do they have that? Right? Okay, this is what I want to show you. The classroom environment, right? This is for centuries, the classroom environment is the same. Right? Then the content discussed in the classroom, right? We all know the Bloom's taxonomy. If I ask all academics here, very conversant with Bloom's taxonomy, which articulates, which facilitate communication between academics to show the cognitive difficulties of the content discussed in the classroom, right? If you look at very closely, those words are there for the communication purpose, right? You communicate to the students as well as you communicate to the peer lecturers. This is what I want to achieve by having these teaching learning activities inside the classroom, right? And then if you go a little bit deeper, in universities, we practice this big constructive alignment. We prepare intended learning outcomes, and then teaching learning activities according to those intended learning outcomes, and then assessment, right? We set assessments to measure whether students achieve those intended learning outcomes, right? These three we align. This is called constructive alignment. If that alignment is not there, there is a serious issue in the assessment. Actually, it will be reflected by the results of the students, right? If the results, you can analyze the results, you can understand whether they achieve the intended learning outcomes. As you know, actually students are guided by the assessments, not by the intended learning outcomes, right? Normally in the classroom, when we go to a lecture, initially we tell the objectives of this lecture is this. Sometimes students don't pay that much of attention to that, but surely they will look at the question papers, right? Actually, it's a famous saying in the academia, lecturers are guided by the intended learning outcomes, and students are guided by the question papers in the exam, because that's their focus. So actually, if you align these things properly, wherever you look at, you will see the same picture, right? Because assessments reflect the intended learning outcomes. Beyond that, there are so many new theories, right? I will come to that point later. But most of the time, most of the universities, including SLIIT, I have seen, because I am participating in faculty industry communication discussions in the KDU and other universities, then I have seen the content of the curricula as well as the course content, what is covered inside the classroom. Right? These two heavily used in those things, but actually we don't know how it happens inside the classroom. Right? How these things delivered inside the classroom is not visible. In your class, you may know that, right? So this is the teaching learning activities, and then the students, right? So we know actually there are generations. For each generation they has their own peculiar characteristics, right? So since I am from 1970s, I may be in generation X, right? So there may be people from generation Y. Most of the time, lecturers are from these generations. And now, actually, generation Z, right, 13 to 28, most of the time, these are the students that we meet inside the classroom. They have peculiar characteristics. That's why actually these generations are, actually these are not the sharp years of start and end, right? This is just the boundaries, right? And from here we can understand, right, where they are. So what are their characteristics, right? There are tons of information on the net as well as in the text about the characteristics of or the features of these generations. And in addition to that, right, as teachers, what we normally do is, right, actually there is a nice theory from this Albert Bandura, social learning theory. Actually, according to that theory, it suggests people mimic behaviors they admire or find effective. Right? Therefore, intentionally or unintentionally, lecturers mimic the behaviors of the best lecturers they have seen in the past. Right? If some lecturer taught you well and you mastered the content, so you have some sort of trend to follow that lecturer's style. That happened to me. I don't know. You also can judge that. Right? Actually, this is a theory. Actually, that's why. Look at everybody is in a queue waiting for a bus, and if the people allowed to people outside the queue join the bus when bus arrives at the queue, right? After sometimes people lose interest of being in the queue because people know it's not effective, right? That's called social. In an example, the social learning theory is you look at the behavior of others and try to mimic that. Then what happens? We are in generation Y or generation Z, right? We try to mimic the behaviors of teachers we had, right? In the classrooms where generation Z students are, right? So this tells a story how we should change, right? At SLIIT, I always tell now actually there is not only rote learning, there is rote teaching as well. That is, no, you don't update your teaching, right? So continuous curriculum update we do, continuous professional development, actually we pay less attention to that one, right? Either by doing self-exertion, by your own, actually you can develop yourself, right? At least read an article once a day about education and how to be live in the lecture room with Gen Z students, right? So this is actually basically this is where we are now, right? I have shown you the classroom nowadays and the content, how we prepare the content for the students as well as where the students are. So from the next part of my discussion, I will see these things, how we can take them forward, right? And this is what we call the generation gap. Students and teacher and the classroom, you don't know in which generation the setup was formed, right? Actually, that the first figure was from University of Bologna. The first, actually, this university it's the oldest university on the planet, continuously taking students from 1100 or 1088, right? So continuously taking students for the university from 1088. Now more than 1000 years, around 1000 years, right? So the classroom was there, the 12th, 13th century classroom is at University of Bologna. So this classroom, we don't know what generation it is. So this is the generation gap that we have to be very mindful and try to develop strategies to overcome, right? And the Gen AI. This is the beauty of Gen AI, right? I have written this description to generate this image. So you can see the power of generative AI, right? You write your text on the prompt, you can generate either speech or image or video or whatever you want to generate, right? So it will help you to generate it. This is using ChatGPT, right? So that's why actually Gen AI, this is actually what it does. Whatever you tell to the prompt, actually this is called the textual, right, explanation that you give to the prompt available on the screen, and it will generate this image, right? So you can read and look at Gen AI leisurely. This kind of thing, actually, this is what actually they said will replace the most of the human, the lower level human capacity work from the, now actually initially if I want to do this, I have to hire an artist, tell them what to do, and he or she has to draw this image, right? Now I can do it by myself, even without knowing anything about art. Right. Then challenges in university education. We know it is transform A-level students into professionals required for the industry, right? Otherwise, actually they will shout on the streets asking for a job. So we have to mold them, right, from the A-level to the industry, fitting into an industry position after completing their degree without waiting a lot of time. Right. Within three months is the ideal, but 1 year is also okay. Right. So this is the challenge, and what we have in hand. So this is bridge the ever increasing gap. What's this gap? Industry is moving fast, right? Initially programming was there, then this ChatGPT, now programming is fading away. So likewise, industry is moving fast, but A-level remains almost same for certain longer period, right? Then we have to think how we can actually curriculum, right? When you prepare a curriculum, for actually normally the circle at SLIIT is 5 years, but within 5 years, right, you will get the jobs in the industry. Without, actually, when you start the curriculum revision, you don't know what it is. That happened to us for data science, right? Data science appear within 2 years or 2.5 years. There is a job position in data science, and our curriculum couldn't accommodate any changes because it is fixed, right? So the challenge is actually keeping a curriculum, because A-level is a kind of fixed thing, right? And industry is moving very fast, right? So how to bridge this gap? How to prepare curriculum? Because in the accreditation, you have to show them these are the exact things you do during the 4 years, right? Then you can't do those. If you follow the same thing, especially in IT. My experience is from IT domain, so that's why I actually don't talk about IT specifically, but this is what happened to IT. I think more or less other disciplines, the situation is same, right? The gap. Then actually we have to keep the curriculum descriptive enough to accreditation, and flexible sufficient to satisfy rapidly changing industry. So you have to keep some space there to actually match this output to the industry. And then the impact of Gen AI on graduate output. Now, as I told you, we have to find out, actually they enter into the entry-level positions in the industry. And all entry-level, now according to this recent things published on the material, entry-level jobs are fading away. Actually, they will not take these people because of Gen AI. Now, this is another factor comes in our way, Gen AI on graduate output. Basically, mediocre graduates will find it very challenging to find employment. Then we have to sharpen them. We have to make them at a level where they can fight it, this Gen AI era. Compete with the bots, basically, and secure a job. Right? So these are the challenges the university in education in a nutshell. Now, how do we overcome these challenges? Right? Actually, we have to transform this learning environment. Right? So I have taken this from the internet. So this is the classrooms. Right? So in the previous case, classrooms were like this. Right? Because the lecturer is very knowledgeable. Actually, knowledge is not available to the students. Right? So lecturer actually gains an proficiency by self-exertion or by going away, doing a PhD in a different country and come back. But now the situation is different. The information available to lecturers in the other part of the world is same here. Even to the students, it's available. Right? Knowledge is available. Now in the classroom, actually this is a foreign country. You can't see where the teacher is. Because everybody, actually students actually work in groups. Right? And all knowledge is available to them. Right? The lecturer is just a facilitator, conductor, or actually the motivator, coach. So the role has changed, right? And they tried the flipped classroom, where the lectures are available online. At home, they do this, actually listen to these lectures. And in the classroom, we have practical sessions where we discuss the exercises. Actually, we have, in the COVID period, we have recorded our lectures. Now at SLIIT, in certain lectures, we practice this. Because very large numbers, actually the lecture halls, it is really difficult to manage the lectures because in the front rows, as we know, attention is very high. Last rows, attention is very low. Right? What we do is, actually we make, actually from the last year, we make groups by force. When they enter into the university, we make them in groups, equal number of girls, boys to great extent, and different ethnicities, races, then religious, right? So because actually to develop this DEI, diversity, equity and inclusiveness, right? So they embrace that diversity in that team. Actually, as teams, they learn, right? Because when they are working as a team, so they learn from peers as well. Because now the knowledge is available to peers as well as lecturers, the same knowledge, right? So the classroom setting is different, right? Normally the lectures, actually we recorded in the COVID period, we put them into the course web. This learning management system now you have here, maybe Moodle, right? And in the classroom we do exercises, share the work. It's a workshop like lectures where we discuss the examples, right? So this will engage students more than in the previous classroom, right, delivery, right? And teaching learning activities, the Bloom's taxonomy is there, the constructive alignment. Now we are focusing on this new taxonomy of educational objectives. They are, in addition to this Bloom's taxonomy, the content, the cognitive difficulty of the material that you work with, right? It discusses certain other things, the value, the content, right? You try to appreciate the content with students. If you miss this part, you will not be able to perform this duty when you go to the industry, right? In the industry, you will not be able to perform this duty if you don't learn this now in the classroom, right? So we tell students, in addition to the cognitive difficulty, how valuable the content to their life, right? And in addition to that, the learning strategies, right? How you can keep these things in memory and how you can acquire this knowledge, store this knowledge for long-term use, right? And by being in groups, right, they learn these things from peers. Peers, we consider the cognitive differences as well. That means actually high GPA students, high Z-score students with low Z-score students. Then actually they learn study skills from those students. How they keep these things in memory, how they prepare for the exams. So students learn from their peers who are excelled in A-level exam or other exams, and they follow these things when they are learning as a team. So learning as a team instead of learning as an individual, that's what we want to, right? Now most of the games, right, available, these network games. As a team, you play the game against another team, right? That is more encouraging. The game industry has picked that very tactfully, and engagement is very high when you have this. Actually, they don't know the peers of their team, right? They find these teams online, and as a team, they fight against another team, right? So this kind of gamification you can create inside the classroom when you have teams. You know, actually there is a famous tool called Kahoot, right? So you can throw a quiz where teams try now. It's like a competition. After half an hour delivery, 10 questions. They inside the classroom, when they go to lecture, we advise them the same kind of lecture halls. So we advise them to sit together, right? Even in the same class, same kind of classroom, sit together. Then, so you can do this gamification kind of things to make it interesting to the students. So embed these the tech tools to the curriculum. And then there is a significant learning outcomes by D things, right? So here you can see this, the blue color parts are from Bloom's taxonomy. Other parts, right? Human dimension of the material you discuss, right? Caring, right? The value, appreciation of the work you do. Then learning how to learn. So we try our best to actually develop this lifelong learning in students, right? Now they are embedded into these taxonomies, right? There are verbs in that taxonomy cater for that requirement. So you can, when you plan your teaching learning activities, you can consider those things as well. When you plan intended learning outcomes, you can embed to the curriculum these things. And even Andrew Church, this Bloom's digital taxonomy, right? The same cognitive levels. What are the technical tools available to support that level, right? This blogging, creating videos, because students are tech savvy nowadays, right? In this generation, right? They maintain a blog. It's like a reflective journal, right? And actually, in some universities, I have seen the batch note created by the students, right? The good student starts sharing a Google document, right? And then others contribute, all students. Then that becomes that batch, that particular subject's note, right? That is very comprehensive. That contains more than what we teach inside the classroom. Because they know by going through the question papers, these things were asked in previous years, so better we prepare for these things as well. Right? So batch note. And then actually in SLIIT now we have these interdisciplinary activities like projects in every semester. Where in these projects, communication part assessed by the module for the communication. Right? Technical communication team, they assess the presentations and other things, English aspect. And the other part, actually, if it is a website development, right? This HTML, other things, by another group. Mobile application development. Then the mobile team will look at the same project is taken to assess in many subjects, right? And I have seen in some other universities, this interdisciplinary activity, they have to do a drama, right? Showing the different facets of that problem, right? In the medical faculty, University of Colombo, they have that in the first year. I think Professor Nilanthi will know these things, and they also do the same thing in Kelaniya University. So those things. So this, actually we have to add these things to the curriculum, teaching learning activities, right? So we have to think about how we can change the classroom, we have to think about how we can change the, and then actually this is for the development of the lecturers as well. And teacher as a mentor, coach provides an emotional connection to motivate, build resilience and curiosity. Actually this part, this Bill Gates tells, right? You lecturers can be created after 10 years time, right? But this is where this AI can't do, still it is not available in AI domain. How to create curiosity in the students, only the lecturer, human lecturer can do that, right? Even the tone of the lecture, right? You have eye contact, you know actually by looking at faces, you know this student is engaging and this is not, then, but the AI tutors, they can't mimic those things. So that's why actually as teachers, to keep our jobs safe, we have to develop ourselves, right? And storytelling is some area that the AI bots are failed. Till now, because actually you tell stories by gathering your past experience, right? But as a lecturer, storytelling is the most attractive. Actually, you can grab attention of the students if you tell stories, right? So now lecturers, your job is challenge and you have to integrate these things to your delivery as a teacher. Then only you can survive. If you just show the slides and deliver the monotone lecture, so you will be easily changed by the AI bot in future. And knowing students, actually generation said students, you have to study. We have to study very well, right? Tech savvy and digitally native. Search for a tool for any assignment. If you give assignment, they first look at not the intended learning outcome. They look at, is there any tool to do this very easily? Right? So they look at those tools. and then short attention span with a need for speed. Right? If you put a lecture on the web, they actually try to run it 1.5 times or 2 times fast. Right? Students, if there is an online lecture, even YouTube video, in this generation, they can capture those information and process very fast. Right? And preference for visual and interactive learning, YouTube lectures and tutorials, VR, 3D over books, right? And there are these big books in medicine and other disciplines. Nowadays, actually, they are on racks. Nobody is referring those things instead of a video or a simulator. So that's what they try. Right? Multimedia. So we have to also develop the content. Then the content development is again an area where universities can promote, where you can create content for students using multimedia. The pragmatic and purpose-driven, hands-on and ask, why does this matter? So therefore, you have to do more and more practical stuff rather than one-way delivery in the classroom. Multitasking, but quickly getting distracted. Right? They can do a lot of things similarly, but easily get distracted. Therefore, actually you have to increase their focus. So you have to make sure that in the delivery, they keep their focus. Actually, to do that, actually there are certain skills that you can develop. I will discuss later. So these are the survival skills that we can impart or the inculcate in students to make them different from AI bots. Right? The first thing is communication skills. Right? Because when you communicate, looking at the eyes of the other person and facial expressions, the tone, and so in the presentations, practice these things, check these things, will develop these skills. Because these things will be still missing in these AI bots, right? And research is going on. I don't know when they will succeed. Right? Then only we will get threat. The other thing is actually communication skills is very important nowadays. Why? Actually, you type on the prompt. So you should be able to articulate what you have in mind very clearly and concisely. Otherwise, you will not get the output you intended. Right? So the prompt engineering is a discipline. Actually, I think actually this kind of university, you have different disciplines, right? But for all these disciplines, you can create a small, short course for prompt engineering. Because it is very valuable for all disciplines. Because they all use chatbots and AI bots in future. So if they can actually effectively write the prompt, the text to generate what they want, that would be an asset to anyone. And then emotional intelligence, EQ. This is where AI bots are very weak. Emotions, right? So actually this not like the Bloom's taxonomy. In other taxonomies, they discuss this aspect, valuing the self aspect of the teaching learning. Right? So therefore, it's very good to look at those things. And even Neuralink, this Elon Musk's Neuralink, right? They try to mimic the cognitive capacity, but not the emotional aspect, right? Because they are going to have some implants in brain to quickly get the knowledge, but how to handle it, in which place. So those things, the humans are the best. Then creative insight, the creativity, right? The creativity, earlier I thought some students are creative, some are not. But now theories are there where you can develop creativity in all students. Right? As an example, actually our society, normally our society is the complaints. Right? You daily basis, you complain about this, water, this, you complain. But you don't suggest solutions for problems. Right? So, but instead of complaining, right, we now actually tell students, now, if you have seen a problem, don't complain, try to suggest a solution. Right? If something is not working, what are the alternatives? Right? By that way, we try to inculcate innovative solutions for the problems we have. Right? That's what we want, and even that's what the entrepreneurs will do. They will earn money by looking at the problems of the people, solving problems of the people. Right? If you develop a product, what you normally develop a product means actually that product serve a certain purpose. Right? So this creative insight is another area where you can. Then leadership and vision. Right? The AI bots can tell certain things, tell the plans, strategies, but to execute with others, you need human charisma. And you have to convince people, right? Negotiate with people. So those skills will be very helpful. The leadership and vision is one area where if we can inculcate in students, so they will be benefited in future world. Right? And the mindfulness to keep the focus, because the AI, what is lacking there is the self-awareness. They are machines, they give procedural outputs, but they are not being feel as a self. But self-awareness is one thing that can't mimic by machines. So if you develop that, you can improve the focus as well as your performance. Right? In actually foreign universities, I have seen a very famous book by Sri Lankan monk. Right? He is known as Bhante Ji. Right? So that's the best text available on the planet for mindfulness. Right? Wrote by Sri Lankan monk. Right? So, but in our universities, the foreign universities, they use that as a text of the course. Right? Mindfulness in a nutshell. If I remember the title correctly, right? He is Bhante Gunaratana. Right? He resides in US. Right? So his book is using as a text in universities to train mindfulness, because they know the edge. What's the edge that students can take over other things? The focus. Right? So those are the survival skills for the future. If we can develop them in students, this is not difficult. Right? We can actually integrate this into the curriculum. Right? And short courses, by means of short courses, or the between semesters, actually we can have this course. So by that way, actually we can integrate these things to the curriculum to develop this. And that's I touched these points. Teaching learning environment in universities. What are the issues? What can be done? My suggestions. And teaching learning activities, how these things can be, the Bloom's taxonomy and other taxonomies that can be used to develop the teaching learning activities. Then I discuss about students, academics and generation gap, how to actually take actions to fill that gap and how to overcome those challenges. So these are a breakdown of my speech, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We would now like to open the floor for any questions. Kindly raise your hand and one of our team members will bring you the mic. We welcome any thoughts or clarifications you may have. This chance is for our wonderful audience. So, I suppose the presentation was clear and crisp. And I kindly request that Mr. Kolya Pulasinghe welcome you to the stage for... Is there any questions for the audience to ask?
Thank you very much, Professor Kolya, for this very insightful and interesting talk. Just to kind of ask one question. Now, you were showing and talking about this classrooms in 1300s and then 18th century. And today we have this the traditional classrooms and then kind of a little bit different. But do you think maybe another 5-6 years time will they disappear altogether?
I can't predict, but it will happen. Even actually, I think actually students will not. The thing is actually we somehow during the A-level time period, we develop the dependency, heavily depend on the lecturers and other things. Otherwise, in the other parts of the world, now they are not seeking for university entrance. Most of them follow courses online, right? And sometimes actually they can get the certificate from a very valuable, let's say you can follow certain course in Harvard and obtain a certificate from Harvard without going to Harvard. You have seen the MOOC, MOOC, so by that way. But in Sri Lanka, I don't know, because in Sri Lanka, these students are heavily dependent on the lecturers. Till that prevails, actually, they will enter into the universities, they will look the guidance. And even actually, yesterday, actually, while preparing these lectures, I found 2 students and I asked from those 2, why are you coming to university since you can download all these things and learn by your own, right? Then they thought, at that point they thought, yes, this knowledge is available, if curriculum is available somewhere, so all these lectures are available, so we can follow it from home. But after some time they told, no sir, lecturer will help us when some difficulty happens. On that spot they help us. Otherwise actually we have to go to internet and find out the problem, our problem, clarify our problem. So for that actually they want instant feedback. For that purpose they need a lecturer. For that actually they come to the lecture hall. But my point is actually the setup, classroom setup. The way we set up the classroom, we have to change it. Otherwise, actually, students will lose the interest of the material that we discuss in the classroom. Because actually, you may see that nowadays, actually, attendance of the lectures, if the lectures are monotonic, and after some times, actually, the student attendance will drop, right? That means actually without attending lecture, they can pass the exam by other means. So like, I don't know whether I answered the question.
Sir, I have a question. Actually, I'm coming from an industry. I'm not a student. So your insights were very fruitful, especially for the university students and lecturers. So on my point of view, do you have any advices for us? Actually, I'm working as an HR in an IT company. So for those who are already in the industry, who have already passed out from the university, and they are also in the same generation with same mentality and all. So do you have any advice for us to develop and to make a change inside the industry?
Thank you. Thank you for the question, and thank you for being in the industry and asking this question. Yes. The thing is actually industry want us to do everything and they would like to find a graduate which can be put into work from the next day, right? Now I have shown the challenge, just we have to groom them from A level to the level expected by the industry, right? So one thing is industry can give a lot of internships to the students to take the flavor of the industry. By that way, you can give tech talks coming to the university and give the tech talks to, then they will appreciate what is teaching inside the classroom. If you show that these things will apply in the industry, right? And always, actually there is a part should be done by you. When they come to the industry, you have to have some kind of induction to take them into the job. Before taking them into the job, you can't expect from day one, they will behave or work as you expect, right? So those are the things actually that you can develop as actually you can do as an industry member, and you know by being in the university, the drawbacks that this system has. So you can participate in actually there is in this university also there is a industry academia collaborative meetings, right? Every year they will actually come to you and expect your feedback to update the curricula. So in those points you can actually the dynamically and heavily involved in those things and give the real feedback to the university. Then actually this the university can take actions to overcome those things. Those are the things that as a person I will expect from the industry.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Because actually we tell students actually these things are very valuable in the industry, but they don't take care. But someone comes from the industry and tells the students, then they believe that word. This is like actually the student, your kids at home, right? The neighbors praise that they are good and they are doing whatever they tell. They sometimes actually go to the shop and bring something for the others, but not to the parents. Right? They are good for neighborhood, but not for the... Similarly, if you tell so many times, students will not take it, but someone comes from the industry and tell the same thing, right? Then they have a certain value attached to it. So visit regularly the university and bring the message. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Do we have any more questions? All right. Thank you, sir, for the clear explanation that made the session more impactful.
A big thank you to everyone who asked questions. Your curiosity and engagement made this discussion even more meaningful. And we kindly request that you remain on the stage to accept the token of appreciation. And for that, I invite the conference chair, Mr. Dinesh Asankar. Let's give a big round of applause as we extend our heartfelt appreciation to Professor Kelaniya Pulasinghe for his inspiring presentation. As we come to the end of this momentous inauguration ceremony, we would like to invite Ms. Chalani Orthotarachchi, the Conference Secretary, to deliver the word of thanks and express gratitude on today's behalf.
Distinguished guests, respected speakers, researchers, and dear participants. As we have come to the conclusion of the inauguration ceremony of SCSC 2025, it's my great honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, for her continuous support throughout this SCSC process. Her emphasis and encouragement in the university research profile motivates us to enhance the quality of indexed publications in SCSC conferences each year. And our heartfelt gratitude goes to the Dean of the Faculty of Science, Professor Sudat Kalinga Mudali, for his immense encouragement and guidance as always. The Chairperson of the Research Council, Professor Sachit Mettananda, thank you very much for your contribution to the success of this conference. We are extremely grateful to our keynote speaker, Professor Kelaniya Pulasinghe, for sharing the valuable insights and thought-provoking discussions which have truly encouraged our conference and the participants. We would also like to thank all the deans of the faculties, heads of the departments, and the university's academic and non-academic staff for their valuable support. We thank the advisory committee, technical program committee, reviewers, editorial board, and the session chairs for ensuring a high academic standard through their evaluations and guidance. Our heartfelt appreciation goes to our platinum sponsors, Huawei and Code Terriers. We would also thank our technical sponsors, IEEE Sri Lanka section, IEEE Computer Society, IEEE Industrial Electronics Society, IEEE Industry Application Society, and Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai. Your unwavering support has been instrumental in making this conference a success. A special appreciation goes to all the authors and presenters who contributed high-quality research, making SCSC 2025 a platform for knowledge exchange and innovation. The success of this conference would not have been possible without the dedication and efforts of the entire team at the Department of Industrial Management, led by Professor Janaka Vijayanayaka. We are immensely grateful for their commitment and passion. I would also like to especially thank the conference chair, Mr. Dinesh Asanka, the technical program chair, Dr. Chatumi Kaviratna, and the entire conference committee for their outstanding leadership and tireless efforts. We extend our gratitude to all these pre-conference workshop coordinators, namely Mr. Dinesh Asanka, Dr. Tilini Mahanama, and Mr. K. Karthikeyan for all the support given throughout these programs. Our heartfelt thanks goes to the superb technical team led by Mr. Buddhika Jayawardena and my fellow secretarial team. We would like to thank and acknowledge all our invitees for gracing this occasion with their presence. Your presence has truly made SCSC 2025 a vibrant and successful gathering in minds. Last but not least, let me express my heartfelt gratitude to all the students of the Department of Industrial Management for your hard work and dedication, which has been very important to the success of this event. With that, I sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this journey. We hope that you have a fulfilling and insightful experience at SCSC 2025. We anticipate welcoming you again at SCSC 2026. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, and with that, we bring the inauguration ceremony of 8th International Research Conference on Smart Computing and Systems Engineering to a close.
The organizing committee sincerely hopes that this conference serves as a vibrant platform for you to explore, discuss, and ultimately bring your research ideas to fruitful and productive conclusions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we expect to begin the technical sessions from 11:15 a.m. onwards. Please note that there will be 21 separate technical sessions held in the course of today. As we conclude the proceedings, we kindly request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
Sri Lanka Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Siri Varini, Surandi Ati Subhamana Lanka, Ranya Dhanaya Nikamal Balaturu Piri Jaya Bhumiya Ranya, Apa Hatta Sata Siri Sata Sadana, Jivana Ye Mata, Pili Kanu Mena Apa Bhakti Puja, Namo Namo Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata.
Thank you, and you may be seated.
It has been an absolute pleasure guiding you through today's journey of knowledge and innovation. Signing off, I am Rahita.
And I'm Akila. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time, enthusiasm, and participation. We wish you all the best and look forward to seeing you again. Please join us for the refreshments outside.
May you have a beneficial and a productive day ahead.
Until next time, take care and stay inspired. Thank you.